Action!
South Bronx, the South Bronx, South Bronx.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Being kicked out of Rocksteady was the best thing that ever happened to me. I always said it. I don't battle to win. I battle for meat. You know what I'm saying? If I don't win, I don't eat. And from that point on, it was on like Desert Storm. You feel me? It was all out war from that point on. My best period for me was the mid 2000s. You know, uh, uh, meeting, because at that time I thought that the original b-boy spirit was dead. You understand what I mean? But then I started meeting whole groups, not even whole groups, countries, you know, of b-boys, not b-boys, people, let's say people who had very similar struggles to what we had in the Bronx, you know, and discovering these places was very special to me because a lot of those struggles is what made hip hop what it is today. You know, it was a desperation, it was a need to get out of the hood or to be heard or to be seen. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's why I used to call Poland New Bronx. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the history of Poland, and ain't too many people that's been oppressed like that country. You understand what I mean? There was a time where like if you go back as far as World War II and you know all that stuff that went on with Germany and the Germans and Nazi Germany, excuse me, and you know that oppression and how Poland looked, you know, that was to me no different than you know what politicians was doing in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that just like the Bronx, Poland had this spirit that needed to be seen and heard. You understand what I mean? And that's why I had always had a special place for Poland in my heart and the Polish b-boys because the Polish b-boy, the heart and the spirit is no different than the Bronx b-boy. You know what I'm saying? We've been overlooked, we've been stepped on, we've been snapped on, we get jokes told about us, but at the end of the day, we're gonna be the best at what we do. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I mean I even made Poland home for a while and had faith in all those b-boys. So I think to me, my favorite period throughout traveling was that period when I started going around and teaching large groups like Poland, you know, Taiwan, specifically Poland and Taiwan. You know, those are my babies. So basically, that era of me realizing that I am not supposed to be the world's greatest b-boy. I'm supposed to be the world's greatest instructor. You know what I'm saying? What happened was there was a lot of heated discussions and a little internet war between me and Crazy Legs. A lot of things was being said, a lot of things was being done, and it was getting heated, and it was out there for the world to see. And somebody made a comment. This was like on freestylesession.com. Somebody made a comment. Uh-oh, Alien Ness and Crazy Legs that got beef. It's gonna be Rocksteady versus Zulu Kingz. And my response was, I don't need Zulu Kingz. I will show up with a whole posse of Polish b-boys that will slam any Rocksteady member out there. And when I said that, everybody was like, Poland, what the fuck? And I just said, just watch. Just wait. Exactly 1 year after I made that comment, Polski Flavor was one of the biggest names on an international level. Just 1 year after I made that comment, Polski Flavor was one of the biggest names on an international level, recognized. And 2 years after that, they had an invitation to R16, which is very, very special. Like Zulu Kingz, they never got an invite to R16. So, you know, when Polski Flavor got invited, I was like, yes. Two main things. The Polish mentality to learn. You go to a lot of places and b-boys think they too good for a workshop, or you know what I'm saying? But the Polish mentality to learn. They are the word philosopher means someone who loves knowledge. Basically, that's all philosopher means. Polish b-boys to me have philosopher's mind. They love knowledge. They love to learn. You know what I'm saying? And also, just like me, they were battle cats. You know what I'm saying? And as far as teachers, they already started on the right track. I mean, the first b-boy, real b-boy, to go to Poland and teach Poland what real b-boying was all about was Focus. So when you start with Focus, you already know you're on the right track. You understand what I'm saying? And they went from Focus, and from what I heard, Satoe told me that Focus recommended me, so he came in and got me. You know what I'm saying? So already Poland has started on a really good track. Another thing that I was really impressed about Poland was how the whole country comes together. There's a lot of different crews in Poland, but the whole country comes together when it comes time to. So when I would go and teach, like my first workshop in Poland, I had about almost 200 students. You know, we was in a gym in Oneta somewhere, and it was so many students. We was on a basketball court. I remember I stood in the middle of the basketball court, and I put 75 on one side and 75 was plus more on the other side, and I taught the class from the middle. And I thought it was amazing how it was b-boys and b-girls from all over the country. But when it came down to the events, the workshops, things like that, how they could put differences aside and come together and chill as one people, you know? And to me, that was incredible. And then the whole concept of Polski flavor. When you look at Polski flavor, you're looking at some of the illest cats from some of the illest crews of one of the illest countries. You know what I mean? When you got that formula, you cannot go wrong. And this is what I was always impressed with Poland. And that was more the mentality. First, skills was the first thing I noticed. First time I saw Polish b-boys was at IBE, 2005. They came deep. You know what I'm saying? And I remember looking at, I was hanging out with Kirk from Havoc Coro. He was judging the one-on-ones. I wasn't judging. I was just sitting next to him. He was rolling joints and passing them to me. And they kept calling out names and countries of all these b-boys that entered. And I remember Kirk looked over at me and said, "Man, Poland came deep." And I'm like, yeah. And I remember seeing how they were dancing, and I said to him, yo, if these cats get it right, they're going to be dangerous. And Kirk looked at me and shook his head like, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? Because I think even Kirk recognized that even though Poland wasn't winning and making this, Kirk recognized also, you know, we both saw it immediately that there was something there. They have it. And if they get it right, they're going to blow the hell up, you know? And we was right. You know what I'm saying? We was right. If you could go your entire b-boy career being yourself, not doing anybody else, just doing you, you are a successful b-boy. To me, it is an art form. It is an art form when you got these many people practicing it and putting so much into it and developing it and putting it on an artful, you know, on artful display, whether it's a music video on stage or as backup dancers or whatever. Yes, it is an art form. Dance is an art form.